paint one section and then go to another section because you're blending color, and the way you work wet on wet is to keep it going. So you start in one area and spread out. Yeah. So basically after these dry, they have to be completely dry, the whole piece of fabric will be immersed in warm water for about 15 minutes, and the glue starts dissolving. And some of the thicker areas of glue, I have taken a plastic spoon and done some scraping. So basically that's the process, and when they're dry, it comes up like this. So
cool. Have you washed them through a machine or no?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't want to push it too far.
Yes, I think you could, but it's all a matter of using the right acrylic paint, because I've done some tests and some have
you tried
just washed out.
fabric paints?
I did try some actually that say they're kind of fabric, and they didn't do as well. Actually, this is the cheapest student grade paint, and it held the color the best. Like, this is the best red. The best red that I got, and this was my acrylic paint. Like, this was artist paint, and
nicer.
That spectrum red just held on to the fabric. So that was interesting.
So your form of washing is really just soaking them in warm water.
Yeah, it's because all you're doing, we're not wearing these.
Yeah,
we're not
exactly.
making anything out. We're,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think if you put it in the machine, you know, the color would all blend together if you get this bath of
I'm just
color.
asking for in case, like, if you want to use this project for something, just to keep those things in mind, that maybe it would be a project you weren't gonna, you know, like, think of it. Yeah, I weren't gonna wear. That's why.
I think you just need to experiment with. If you want to do it, try a T-shirt that you're washing over and over,
or make a patch.
Yeah, you have to be ready for it.
You could start with something like this, and then you could use the Dharma dyes and their resist. There's lots of other ways to do the teeth if you want to do something more permanent.
Right.
Yeah, so this was really just for safety and cost. And the one thing when you're introducing, you know, one of the things we're trying to do in the classroom with the students is really getting them accustomed to using art, you know, quality art materials. So even though that's kind of a low grade acrylic paint, it's still acrylic paint. So one of the things we want to stress is that this will get in your clothes, and it's permanent, so your parents won't like it because it won't wash out. And they're usually, once they understand that, they're usually pretty careful, except for the little wee ones. They're usually pretty careful about making sure they're not dragging their sleeves or smacking each other with the brush. So
we could maybe have the teachers put something in their weekly newsletter about when we're going to do this process.
That's a good
idea.
idea.
Have the kids bring an art smock, or I mean, my kids have T-shirts that are all covered in paint that they could just slip over the regular clothes.
I think every classroom should probably have one. I know Brandon did last year.
Yeah.
Like they
all have smocks.
Well, they have trouble with lights.
It's okay. Let's just trade spots.
Sending out a newsletter like, we're doing this big project, have your kid wear clothes that can get grubby or get paint on them is a good idea. So that's something that you keep in mind. Thank you.
So I'm going to begin demonstrating wet on wet. So my tools are 1-inch brush. It works better with larger brushes. It would be kind of tedious to have a little tiny brush. And obviously, like, these are just recycled containers, watered down acrylic paints.
Yeah, how watered down, Leslie? I mean, what to what?
You know, I just tested it, and it needs to flow, and you don't want chunks of acrylic paint to end up on your fabric. So, yeah. So I'm just going to actually start working in the center here. I feel like this one should be maybe watered down a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you're not even being really precise. You're just
No. The way those are done is it's kind of the.
Stay in the line.
Yay!
Yeah. You don't have to stay in the line. In fact, when I was doing some on my own, I started getting drips, and then I thought, oh, well, that's fun, actually. So then I started purposely dripping.
Cool.
So I'm just kind of moving the color out, and I'm going to use a darker red now. So I started orange in the middle. So this is the spectrum red. And I'm going to move to a darker red and just kind of blend that in. So that's just blending red on red color, and it's blending is really fun, and it's a lot easier when you're using light colors. So you can do it.
And when you have one child do that whole piece of fabric, that's not.
Well, they would have a smaller
piece.
Yeah, unless you were, you did kind of a community piece, and then you'd have to set it up differently, and maybe one worked on one section, and they. But yeah, most of the times it would be, an 8.5 by 11 piece of fabric.
So how many kites are being made for the camp?
13, one for each classroom.
And then each child writes something on.
Yeah, so while Leslie's doing this, I'll explain this next part. So initially the teachers wanted them out of paper, and there's been this push, to try and help beautify the cafeteria, and we knew paper would fall apart pretty quickly. So, plus they're a pain in the neck to hang from the ceiling, so how could we make something permanent? And so we came up with the fabric idea. What we decided, what they were going to do with the paper was have the kids write their questions on. Some of the kids, not all of them, are going to do it on the kites. We chose to put glue all kinds of question marks and designs of question marks and patterns and things. So there's still the questions there. And then the kids are going to get to, oh, thanks. They're each classroom's going to get some strips of fabric, and the students are going to write their questions on these. And then they're going to get tied in bunches in different colors to, where's the kite? Over there. Oh, thanks. They'll get tied to like here and here and here, so that when they're hanging from the ceiling, there'll be these colors that'll be. We thought about tails, but it'll be a pain in the neck to try and stage the tails so they hang beautifully and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, tonight we're going to be cutting strips. Melissa, did you bring the other fabric? Okay.
The hemp hasn't been as easy to cut in strips so nicely unless somebody has some ideas about it. But I have all different colors of hemp material.
Yeah, I think 1 inch is fine.
So,
oh great.
Cut away.
Can it be ripped like this?
I was experimenting with that too, but maybe
is it too
pretty
loose?
It's pretty thick.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's more like a linen.
So if you were teaching this in the classroom, would you be demonstrating, would you continue to be demonstrating, or at this point,
No.
would you set
No,
them?
I'm just doing this because you need to work wet into wet, and otherwise there'll be a line around it. But no, I think you should probably have a really small something. It could even be a piece of paper and demonstrate wet on wet.
Would you even want to try to finish it, or would you want to just show them like how to do
No.
the colors and then just let them go?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of showing blending.
You just want to demonstrate the blending, and then the rest of it you leave up to them, so that they have the experience of the process. She explained why she's doing it, so she
In
can
fact,
make these
if anyone
beautiful.
else wants to grab a brush,
Yeah.
and you can move back to it.